Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of our lunchtime live streams. I hope that everybody is taking the day to at least relax or some time in the new year to recover. Hey Mike, so good to see you. Um, it's These lunchtime live streams are always just a really nice breather for me in the day. And so it's always a treat to be able to live stream and share some things about Blinks and Move 38. And also a good opportunity to answer any questions. Hey Jonas, always good to see you. And so next week, however, for New Year's, I'm going to be taking a break. So we'll come back. Our next live stream will be in the new year. But I figured that it'd be fun to do a Christmas Eve live stream. I got my Los Angeles pride here from New York. Yeah, I figured for our live stream today, we can do something that's a little bit more geared towards those of you that have got Blinks and are curious about the kinds of things that you can be doing with the developer kits, or if you're, I think that one of the nice things about the end of the year is it is a little bit arbitrary in some sense, but it's also a nice to have an excuse to reflect on the year as a whole and look at where you started in the beginning of the year and kind of where you are at this point in the year. And so I figured I'll use this holiday special of our Blinks live stream to talk a little bit about where Move 38 has come from in the beginning of the year, where we are right now, what we can look forward to in the new year. And also I wanted to share something that I was noodling on with my developer kit. It's not quite there yet, but it's pretty close, and I think it's a neat demo. And so I figured I can share that demonstration as well. So I guess to start out, first of all, I'd like to give a huge thanks to all of our Kickstarter backers this year. Our Kickstarter in May was just such a huge success, really grew our community. So many of you came from our second Kickstarter, and a lot of our community members who've been with us since the first Blinks Kickstarter. We've seen a number of you amass all of the games in the Blinks game system. And so, thank you so much to everybody who's not just getting into the system, but also really trying out all of the experiences and sharing them with friends. I know that tomorrow morning is going to be very exciting for lots of people opening up their first set of Blinks. And so, we're really thrilled that we could do that. I think that it's also one of the things yesterday. So actually, just in kind of a little bit of a year in review, at the beginning of this year, we started shipping the first 12 games for Blinks, and all of those games were games that were designed. About 2/3 of them were designed in-house at Move 38, and then we had 4 of those original 12 games made at game jams, kind of like hackathons but for games. And we noticed that the games that were being made at our game jams oftentimes were ones that we were even more excited about, and we just really loved helping people realize their games. And so in May, we did the community set, which was all 6 games were designed not by Move 38, but by people who are part of the community, game designers, developers. And so those community set games only started shipping about 2 months ago, and it includes some of my favorites, and they really push the bounds of what Blinks were doing. I think Dark Ball is it's a game that's so easy and quick to pick up that anybody can hop in without knowing anything about Blinks. Paintbrush was designed in a similar vein, and then really deep complexity and more strategy games like Pirates and Lasers or Raid, where the Blinks board actually computes who's winning in the game. And so, a lot of our early Blinks games kind of were exploring different modes of interaction. And then we're seeing newer games that are really pushing the complexity of what gameplay can be on blinks. Let's see. So I feel like I've got right in front of me a little sketch that I'm working on. And so I think also for part of the stream, I can share where it's at and then where it's headed. And so one of the things, let me switch over here. So I've got my developer blink hooked up here and powered from the computer. Excuse me. Let's see. So I've got my developer blink here, powered from the computer, and it's running a sketch that is not any of the games. This is something that I was working on this morning. I thought it'd be kind of fun to create for the holidays, a little mental exercise to create a blinks experience that recognizes the different shapes that blinks are put in. And so I'll show you what these do here, which is when they're in a formation that they'll recognize, they'll turn into a color based on that formation. And so the first formation that I did, and this one's kind of working here, is that if you want to make a tree, they all turn green. And when in that formation, they turn into a tree. This is, I don't know, maybe a mistletoe. And this just kind of reminds me of the Hanukkah cookies I used to get, maybe a little bit more of a, it's a bit off from a Jewish star there. But as the blinks recognize the different formations, they change in color. And so the way I had set up the sketch is that I wanted to do one that looks like a candy cane. And when it goes candy cane, the stripes red and white. And then when it goes into the Christmas tree formation, it goes into green. And then the last one that I was working on is I wanted this to be a Santa or a gingerbread, which is not too far off. We're pretty close. Yeah, so this is just something that I thought was kind of a fun sketch to demonstrate how the blinks can be aware of their arrangements. And that's something you could use for a game. I don't think we have a game yet that really utilizes the way that blinks might recognize their unique formation on their own to create different powers. I believe that actually one of the game designers, Sean, who's working on, I think it was Mini Big Bots, was playing with some of those ideas. How do you arrange your blinks to go into battle? I really like that thought, but I figured I'd do it in a little bit of a holiday spirit. So you can see that I'm cheating a little bit here, that the tree, it's not complete, but they're already turning green. So really, the best way to do this would be, this is not a tree, this is a tree. So that's a little development sketch that I'm working on. And I think actually, I'll switch over to this. I think it's worth sharing what that code looks like. And so to do this today, not only did I put it on my blinks, of course, so I could demonstrate it, but I used, in our last live stream, if you joined us, you'd notice that we had Xiaoyan, a friend of mine, who had built a simulator for blinks. I had used the simulator to iterate on my code real quickly, and then load them onto my blinks. And so I'll show you what that looks like in the simulator. Here we go. All right, perfect. So here's the simulator. And in the simulator, we've got a code side and the blinks. And you'll remember, so this is how they're behaving. And I think it's, so I'll show how the code is doing what it's doing. So I'm gonna scroll up to the top here a bit, and let me get this. Let's see. Here we go. Cool. So at the top of my code, I created a bit of a cheat sheet for what are the types of formations that I want to recognize. And this is actually an idea I had, I think, last year when I started Sketch a Day. But this was something that I came back to today to try and implement. And so you'll notice that the blinks at the top, at the corners, they have a different arrangement of neighbors. And so what I've drawn here is the how many neighbors each of the blinks have. So on the corners, they recognize that they have 2 neighbors each. And in the centers, they have 4 neighbors surrounding them. With the candy cane, we have the ends only having 1 neighbor and the middle ones having 2. And then in our Santa arrangement, that we have, you know, this kind of unique 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2. And so by looking at those different arrangements, my code is pretty straightforward for the most part, and I have a couple of artifacts from what I did here was I took a lot of the code from our game Barry and had just modified that. Since Barry is aware of some of the formations that it has. And so here in this display score, it's actually deciding what color are we going to show based on which arrangement. And let me just scroll down to the arrangements real quickly. So these are the ones from Barry are down here. And then these 3 are new ones. So the cane hook, the end, the middle of Santa. And so like each of these different pieces has a specific type of arrangement. And so the part where I was at here, and I'll switch back over. So the part where I was at here was, okay, now they're identifying kind of whether they could be part of this arrangement. And then by adding a little bit more logic to say, okay, well, the feet of the Santa see the same exact experience as the corner of a tree. So how does it know whether it's part of the Santa or part of the tree? And so here we have the tree arrangement. And here we have the Santa. Oh, whoops. Let me go to the phone view. So let's see. Here we have the tree arrangement. And then here we have that Santa arrangement. And so how do these know? They're in the same, that kind of looks the same as if it were in the tree formation. But here it's acting differently. And the way it's doing that is it knows that its neighbors are not surrounded in the same way that they would be for the tree. And so for the tree to be true, it has to, one of these has to have 4 neighbors. So all 4 neighbors like this. And we notice when we go into the Santa arrangement, well, these 4 neighbors are not in this position. They're in that specific position where I have neighbor, neighbor, no neighbor, neighbor, neighbor. So this is kind of a fun excuse for me to work on some new features, some demos that can go up in our forum that show how we can use formations in our games. And I feel like that's kind of a good segue for me to talk a little bit about the community and the forum. So at the beginning of this year, we had a couple hundred of developer kits in the wild. And if you have one of the original developer kits, they're really cool. They support everything that the existing blinks support, except they don't have tops on them, and the magnets are aligned in a slightly different way. So you can develop on the early developer blinks, and any of the games you develop on any of the blinks work on any of the shipping blinks. Um, the developer forum has been one of the most neat experiences for me in recent, because this year there's been so many games uploaded from the community. We're seeing more and more games every day. I want to give a shout out to one of our forum members, Bruno, for creating his very own custom Blinks library. It's something that I did not expect to pop up this year, and it's so cool to see. It actually allows developers to use the Blinks library in new ways. And Bruno developed this, I know, with the intent of making his own game that needed some features that didn't exist on Blinks. And the neat thing about us making Blinks open source and sharing the code in this way, and also helping each other answer these questions, means that anybody in the community can add features that they're looking for to Blinks and share them with others so they can make the most of them as well. And so it's really, oh, and I like these notes coming in. Happy holidays, Marcy. So great to see you here. And Adam, my family shows up. This is one of my favorite things of the live stream. Blinks reminds us all to get to know our neighbors. Yeah, I think that, I don't know if I talk about that a lot on the live stream, but it's one of the, I think it's an appropriate time of year to talk about it and share that one of my favorite things about Blinks is it's an excuse to get together with family and friends. And just like the Blinks attract each other with magnets, I feel like it's anything as a reminder that we're all working together to make something better, something bigger than ourselves, is a really important message. And that all goes along with the vision of Move 38, that the toys and tools we play with shape the way we think. And I think if we engage with products like Blinks, that we start to think about how different pieces work together. So thanks for reminding me, Adam. And so, yeah, I wanted to give a couple more, and I think I can share the developer forum here so everybody can see what this has really turned into. And I think that, so in a bit of in year in review, switch over here. So here's the developer forum, and it's just been new games. Some of these games I haven't even had a chance to play yet, and lots of them are being tested by people in the forum. And if your code is uploaded here, it's really easy for me to pick it up, or anybody else in the forum, and start to try and play it. And so I was talking about Bruno's hard work on creating a custom library, but I also wanted to share something that's really neat here. And I think we can do a live stream on this on its own at some point, which is this is a game that Bruno's created, and another one of our forum members had designed the stickers, or helped him with the stickers. And the thing that I think is really cool here is that what Bruno's done here is not only has he ported a game from another platform to work with Blinks, but he's built an artificial intelligence to play the game versus you. So it's a 2-player game. And now this Blink, this AI Blink, you can hook it up and it can play for one of the players. And you could even hook them up so that 2 AIs could be playing each other. And it's just really neat to be seeing these kinds of creations on the forum. Earlier this year, I shared that there was a terrarium. There's a really beautiful experience. And we've started to publish games directly from the forum. So Dragon's Lair is going to be arriving in people's hands possibly as early as today. We were shipping, oh yeah, so that's a really important shout out to make, is our shipping partners. This year, we've worked with a number of third-party logistics companies, and when COVID hit, it was very clear that shipping was not going to be easy. And I think we've all had to deal with delayed shipments from many services. And at Move 38, we really, really want to make sure that the most important thing is that we're communicative about it, because sometimes you just can't help that a plane is not going to get off the ground, or that somebody in the packaging facility gets sick. There's lots of hurdles that can get in the way of any production. And what our goal is to make sure that you're in the loop and that you feel like you know what's going on with the team at Move 38, that we're sharing all of our great progress, and also when you can expect, if you're not going to expect something on time. And so this past week has been an incredible hustle from not only the factory, but our freight forwarders who got our blinks on a plane and off of a plane last week, unpacked in the warehouse, and then packed up and shipped out via USPS over the last, I guess, Monday and Tuesday of this week. And so it looks like many of those packages will be arriving on Monday of next week or later, unfortunately missing the opportunity to be under a tree. But I think that, I hope that everybody is, it only builds the excitement and anticipation, and that the gift cards that we shared on our Kickstarter and via social media, that people could print those out and really, really deliver that amazing gift experience. I know how much that that means to so many people. So it's really, but lots of pieces working together. So I've talked a little bit about where we started in the beginning of the year with 12 games, and then sharing the community set games, all the games popping up on the forum, which we released 3 of them in the summer for the Summer Games series. We re-released those to our Kickstarter backers, and it's so cool to see how many people were excited to complete their sets with games. The Blinks community is now in the thousands, so there's thousands of you with Blinks playing at home. This year alone, there were over 50,000 games shipped, so there's lots and lots of Blinks games in the world. And I think that, I want to share this, the Blinks game system and the new Epic Adventure set, so our latest edition of Blinks, the ones that arrived on planes this past week, I have to admit that we prioritized our customers first, and I have yet to receive my own copy of the Epic Adventure, and I won't until likely January, because when our shipments arrived, of course we had all our quality control done, but when those batches arrived, I said, okay, that's going to fulfill all of the orders, and so I can't wait to get my hands on the new holographic box for the Epic Adventure set, as well as the new game system. I do, however, have something that's exciting for me. Oh, and this is actually kind of a on-theme item. It's not with me. I got the very first red sushi roll case. And so for all of you that are receiving the Epic Adventure set, the red sushi roll case, it's our lava red, is really, really cool looking. It's really nice. I know when Ishmael joined the team, he said, "Oh man, you gotta do red sushi roll cases." And when the game Tiptoe Volcano was pitched for the Epic Adventure set, I was like, I know exactly what color we're using for the next sushi roll case. So while I haven't seen the holographic box yet in my own hands, I have had a chance and just received the earliest shipments of the lava red sushi roll cases. So yeah, I'm looking forward for everybody to see those. So let's see, year in review. There's another piece of news that I'm not sure if I've shared publicly here, and I will definitely be sharing more publicly in the days to come. is that blinks have grown not just with consumers, but we've had lots of people bring blinks into classrooms and think about how to use blinks for teaching coding or even just creative thinking. And this is actually a big move for us in the new year. So starting in January, I'm joining NYU's staff as an adjunct professor, and I'm going to be teaching a course with blinks, and we're going to be exploring the kinds of creative thinking that occurs when you think about these emergent properties of simple singular actions coming together to create something larger than themselves. And so I'm really, really excited for not just the opportunity to do this, but also to have seen the work of so many people from our community and be able to put that into the hands of students, and for them to not only be able to be part of the community and contribute back to it, but to explore all of the kinds of ways of thinking and gameplay that we've only scratched the surface of. So I'll be sharing on that in the new year, of course, and as that class, it's a semester-long course, and so I know that I'm going to be learning a ton in the experience. I've always been excited to teach, and have had the experience to do so in workshops before, but I think that getting to take this material and not only teach on a subject I'm really passionate about, but to teach with materials that I've been working on for the last 6 years, believe it or not. So it's, yeah, so I'm excited to share more on that. So those are a couple of the items. I think one of the biggest items that I've yet to mention is that this year the Blinks team has grown. So Move 38 has grown as a company. And honestly, we couldn't have gotten this far without all of the amazing help. So I just have to give a huge shout out to our team, the team at the end of the year, and just in no particular order, Marty with our communications and marketing just did such an amazing job of getting the word out, communicating Blinks, bringing Blinks to new channels. We were able to bring Blinks to beta. If you're still looking for a present today, it is the one spot. They're mostly sold out, but if you go to beta or beta.com, B8TA, and we're directing people there from our website, it's the one place you can still get Blinks for a Christmas present. But we also brought on other partners as well, such as Touch of Modern, Uncommon Goods. Uncommon Goods got a hold of Blinks, and the moment they posted, they ordered 4 purchase orders of Blinks in the course of like a month and a half. And when I reached back out to them during Black Friday, I said, what happened to the last, we just sent you like a couple hundred Blinks. What happened to those? And they're like, they're sold out. And so, it's been really neat to see not only our own team being able to bring Blinks to you, but new partners to be able to bring Blinks to you. And then we've also brought Blinks to Amazon, and with Prime Fulfillment, that'll once again start up next year. Amazon, of course, sold out of their inventory. And so, but bringing it back to the team, so I mentioned Marty, Dan, our game design lead, who had programmed so many of our games, but has really, I think, this year just had such an amazing time working with all of you in the community, bringing your games to life. This year, 15 games. Is that right? Yeah, 16 games brought to life this year and published. And that's really, I feel like, just so much credit goes to Dan as well as the rest of the team for getting those games out the door. Elizabeth, our designer, who joined us, all of the amazing work for the Epic Adventure look, even my cool Blinks live stream overlays. And we're just doing so much in the way of refining the look of Blinks, making it consistent across the board, and really making sure that you've got the coolest Blinks materials, be it from the packaging to the label art. Elizabeth did a number of the labels for the Epic Adventure games. Mary, our admin project manager, she was amazing this year. I know that she's taken care of so many of your customer service questions and just engaged with the community. I have to give Mary a shout out that she's been an amazing admin and project manager. But I also wanted to share here on the live stream that she was offered a position at she is in the new year going to be a game designer at Exploding Kittens. So it's also so fulfilling to see our employees not only do amazing things at Move 38, but also be able to follow their passions and really get to do the amazing work they do. So I'm so excited for our alumni that are doing amazing things out in the world as well. And we're wishing Mary an incredible holiday season and an exciting new year. I'm sure we'll see her on live streams ahead. And Ishmael, who I know many of you have interacted with, he's our CFO, but he's so much more. And I know that we wouldn't be here without him. It's really been such an amazing year. I know that he's learned so much from talking to so many of our customers, and I've learned so much by working with somebody with such a different skill set than myself. A game company can't just be run by a creative goof like me. It needs somebody who also can see the other side of things and to figure out how to make sure that things are running smoothly so we can deliver the best possible experience for everyone. So, and of course, last but not least, Josh, our technical lead, who's made the technology in Blinks, taken a seed of what I was working on at MIT and turned it into something that is a robust product that people have written to say, holy crap, this is, this feels like a product made by Apple. It's amazing to see such a small team do such beautiful work. And with our partners at Jetta Manufacturing and all of our partners that have helped bring Blinks to life. Yeah, it's kind of a long thank you, but I just want to share that this is a lot of people really working together to create something special. And I hope that if you follow along as part of the community, when you see job postings for Move 38, that I hope you share them with people who you think would be a good fit to help us continue to deliver. I think that the years ahead are going to be exciting for us, and that we're really just in the beginning. So unless there are any questions from the comments and forum, I'm going to spend a little bit more time coding today, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day making sure that we relax for the holidays. The Move 38 team has been given time off before the new year. I'll, of course, be here and responsive, and any support questions come across my way, so we'll make sure that we're taking care of everybody. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us on our live streams. I'm really excited to continue this in the new year and to see all of the amazing things you're making and also the amazing ways you play. So looking forward to seeing you in the new year.